how to set that up on the live stream. It used to be a lot easier.
Mm.
Did I used to do it through? I think I used to do it through a streaming platform. That's what I did. I don't think I did it straight from Zoom. Anyway, that's irregardless, which apparently is now a word,
Mm.
But I've been paying attention to basketball a little bit.
The WNBA or the NBA?
The NBA, right? Like
Mm.
I will sit and watch a WNBA game, but I think they're a little out of pocket with Caitlin Clark. Like she's a good ball player.
Mm-hmm.
There's a, I mean, there's a whole lot of shenanigans going on with that. They're trying real hard to promote her. I think other players are getting upset. She's getting some of the Jordan treatment that he had early on in his career. It's and there's some decent ballers in that league, man. Like start focusing on the whole league, man. There's some good ball players.
But this how you do it, right? I mean, the focus may be misguided at this point, but they're talking about them. I can't remember in my lifetime this much talk about the WNBA. I
No,
simply can't.
no.
So Angel Reese and Caitlin Clark, and whether they are creating narratives that are dysfunctional or appropriate or not, the
Yeah,
conversations are being had and people are
that's
tuning in and the endorsement money's coming in. So I think overall, the WNBA is going to benefit from all of the chatter, even though it might be based in, topics that don't necessarily fit what they want to talk about. It's getting them noticed.
yeah. I mean, I couldn't disagree with you. Um,
Yeah.
it's funny, man, because I hung out with some WNBA players back when Portland had a team in like the late 90s, 2000s. They had a
Yeah.
team and one of the co-managers at the bar I worked at, he was dating the center at the time, Sylvia Crawley. And then I hung out with
A
another person.
center. She had some serious height, I'm sure.
Dude, it's really weird being around tall women, right? Because it's not normal, right? It like for me, it's not normal. I'm a fairly large individual, but they they're tall, man. Like when the team would come into the bar to hang out, right? Like they're all 6'5", 6'6". No, not
Sheesh.
all of them. I mean, they got some short people too, but it was wild, man. It was wild. That was
So what
fun.
about you're a Lakers okay, so let's talk about these Lakers then.
All
Since
right.
we're talking about basketball a little
So
bit.
you and I both know that I have been fairly adamant that I am not a LeBron James fan, right?
Mm-hmm.
Like I appreciate what he's done. I
Mm-hmm.
respect the longevity,
Mm-hmm.
right? I don't think he should be in the GOAT conversation, right?
Okay.
Like I don't think he's been the best player for half the time he's been in the league.
Okay.
You know what I mean? Like I think he's been like the best player in the world a good number of those years, but like a couple of those years, man, there were some better ballers. Uh,
Mm-hmm.
and like he's really, I'm not even going to get into that. We're not here to discuss LeBron. I just don't like what the media's
You've been
done.
clear on your feelings about him.
I don't like what the media's done with him from day one, right?
Mm-hmm.
The chosen one, right? Like
Mm-hmm.
and that was a self-made moniker, right?
Well, they had an entire press con. They had an entire series on ESPN when he made the decision to go to Miami.
Yeah,
That was insane. Where's he going?
yeah. I mean, aside from that, um,
Wait, he was King James
he was
prior to signing his contract, wasn't
King
he?
James coming in
King
as a
James,
rookie into
and
Cleveland,
as rookie.
and that's probably Sports Illustrated. But like I'm pretty sure he's got a tattoo across his back that says "The Chosen One."
Hmm.
that he's had for a long, long time. So outside of that, I would say my feelings are what they are. So like I have not really bought into this era of the Lakers, and I finally hit my tipping point the way that they celebrated the in-season tournament like they just won a championship, right? Like this isn't college, this isn't the Maui Invitational, right? Like this was an in-season tournament in between other regular season games, right? Like so it wasn't even like this phenomenal thing. And now, like, dude, Bronny James should not have been drafted to an NBA team.
Well, that's just one of the areas of dysfunction that's obvious in the Lakers, right? I mean, your new head coach, JJ Redick, who was not even a starter in this league, who was a commentator for 4 months, has no head coaching. I think he might have been a coach of like a high school team at one point for a very brief stint. He's the head coach of one of the largest media market teams in the National Basketball Association.
Yeah.
I don't understand that.
Did a podcast with LeBron James. Right? He's got a pretty good basketball IQ, but he has no like where's the experience, man?
Why don't they just name the team the Los Angeles James?
Why don't they just let LeBron James coach?
Why don't they just make him the president, a player coach?
Bill Russell did it, right?
Yeah, he did it and did it well.
Yeah.
I don't know. You know what? I think that what we are witnessing is dysfunction at its highest point.
Guess what?
It's almost as bad as what we've seen happen on the East Coast with the New York Knicks during certain seasons with the dysfunction. Be it as it may, it's a different type and style of dysfunction. It's dysfunction nonetheless.
Yeah.
I don't even know what to say about what I've seen over there. But you know what? I think it is when you just look to the side for a minute, even though it was steered, it takes away from it a little bit. However, first time in history, a father and son will be playing in the league at the same time on the same team. That's pretty incredible.
It's incredible. It's dulled, right? Like
it was orchestrated.
His stats, when compared to late second round draft picks, right? Which he was a 55th pick.
Unrestricted free agents. Unsigned free agents, undrafted free agents.
We're just saying late second round draft picks.
Okay.
College stats coming out into that draft. He is a full, like, it's glaring how far behind he was average wise. Like, he wasn't even the first option for USC. And they were a bad team. So I mean, guess what it's going to do? It's going to sell tickets. It's pure entertainment at this point in time, right? LeBron's been talking about this for years, playing in the league with his son, right? So,
you can't even get mad at Bronny. I mean, be happy for the kid. He didn't do anything wrong. He just showed up.
He doesn't care. He's got a free ride for a front row seat, man. He gets paid to sit in the front row.
Yep. Well, we'll see what happens. Interesting things in Philly, though. Paul George, 4-year deal, max deal, $200 and something million.
Takes him to.
You don't like that signing?
Takes him to 38. Like, I'd have to look at the contract and see like what it's NBA. It's all guaranteed. It's all guaranteed, right? But 38 years old, he's not LeBron, right? He's not going to play till he's 40.
Chris Paul just signed with who was it?
He just signed with the Spurs.
The Spurs.
Yeah.
He got 11 million on for 1 year or something like that. 39 years old.
Klay Thompson just signed with
The Mavs.
The Mavs.
I think they got better. I like that for him.
That's a good move for them.
Although I would say it would have been cool to see him retire a Warrior.
It would have been.
Yeah.
He's not that old though.
No, he isn't. I don't know. You know, I'm a little old fashioned in certain ways. Like, did you have to chase the money? Did you have to? Could you have been happy with your endorsements and your contract? Because look at the WNBA players, for example. There's no contract that's more than 80 grand a year, right? But their endorsement, they're making millions of dollars.
Yeah.
Millions of dollars. Like Klay Thompson could have been very happy there. Sometimes I think when you're chasing the bag, is it really worth it? So San Antonio, I don't know what their media market is like. Is it like Golden State's in California? Would he get the same type of endorsements and deals? Because sometimes it balances out.
But it is now, right? Like Golden State is a medium mecca right now for NBA. The Golden State Warriors are a global name, right? Like there's global recognition. So his endorsement deals have to be pretty well, right? But like going to Dallas, I think it's a wash.
You think so?
Yeah.
I don't know what their market's like out there. I know for the Cowboys have international acclaim for some weird reason.
Yeah.
But the Mavericks, I don't know if they had the same appeal.
I don't think they have as large a worldwide recognition, but like let's think about it. Luka is from where?
Yeah, true. True that.
You know, they have one of the best players in the league.
Yeah.
Whose offensive stats are beyond LeBron James at this point in time.
And they still got Kyrie Irving. So that team definitely got better. There's no question about it.
Players, man, without a doubt. Back to Paul George. I think it's a win now. I think they got a 2-year window with Paul George in that role.
That's all they had is a 2-year window. And that's contingent on him being healthy.
It's mainly contingent on Embiid being healthy. Right? Oh. They're a different team. Like
that man is incredible. I mean, say what you want about his lack of being able to remain healthy for the full year, which you can make that argument, right? Say what you want about his poor performance in the post-game press conferences. There's an argument for that too. But that man, what he showed in this past season, he went out there on one leg and one eye, one functioning half of his body.
Yeah.
He had to do this to blink repeatedly, right?
Yep.
And still produced at an extremely high level. He dropped a 50 burger on the Knicks at one point. He was doing his thing. He was not stoppable.
Unstoppable.
So, I don't know. I think Philadelphia did improve with Paul George, but
and they got Gordon too, right?
Did they? I think they did. Yeah, they absolutely did. I think they did get better. And as a matter of fact, New York Sports Talk Radio today, they were saying with the Paul George trade, he now believes that Philly is better poised to have a better season than the Knicks. Whereas prior to that, they were saying it was Boston, then the New York Knicks, then everybody else. Now, Philly leapfrogged New York.
And when you look at Philly with Tobias Harris, who Paul George takes that role, I mean, it's not even a question who you want. Tobias Harris, when he was on,
was a disappointment.
When he was on, it was, I don't think you could beat the Sixers.
Yeah, he wasn't on for 2 years, though.
He wasn't on every other game, let alone like he'd have one good game and like 6 bad games.
Yeah.
Disappear.
Yeah. He was disappointing for Philadelphia fans.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm. Yeah. When the Knicks, I like what they did with. I think they gave up too much for Mikal Bridges. I think they could have got him for 2 1s, 2 2s, but they wanted to do what they wanted to do. And the thing about it though is, it doesn't hurt them as bad as it would of another team because the New York Knicks had so many ones in their pocket that they could afford to do that without giving up everything out from their arsenal for that player. I don't think he was worth what they gave him. However, more will be revealed because if they're able to produce and develop the chemistry that they had back when they were in Nova, and you still got Julius Randle, you signed OG Anunoby, you couldn't keep Isaiah Hartenstein, which I really wish they would have got rid of. And I love Mitchell Robinson, but if I had to, if I did a pros and the cons of Isaiah Hartenstein and Mitchell Robinson, I'm keeping Isaiah Hartenstein for one reason. You know what that reason is? Free throws.
Yep.
Mitchell Robinson can't make free throws. Isaiah Hartenstein can do he's just about as effective on defense as Mitchell Robinson. But if he gets fouled, you can count on Isaiah Hartenstein going 75% from the free throw line. Mitchell Robinson's maybe 40. Maybe 40.
Yeah.
But I like our team. We'll see how it goes.
It's almost.
And I'm looking forward to the summer league. I want to see what happens there too. I'm excited.
I don't put much. I mean, it's nice to see the rookies play, but
That's what I want to see.
Yeah.
I want to see who we drafted. I don't even know these guys.
Yeah.
They're out of France and Germany.
Yo,
There's limited film.
Wembanyama made a statement.
Wow, what a player, huh?
Did you hear what he said about the Olympics?
I did not.
If we don't win gold, it's a disappointment.
Well, he ain't lying.
Well, he's not lying, but he basically called out the Redeem team.
Wait a minute. Did you see what just happened in football? The United States lost to China?
And under 20 though, man. And like who went? Who was playing?
I don't know, but it doesn't matter.
Yeah. Like, I mean, come on. That's like we send our under 17 soccer team and they go over and beat like Denmark, right? Like
that's like Wichita High School beating Bronx High School in a double Dutch competition. That's what that is. That should never happen. But it did.
It did. They're not beating the all pro team. Let's just say that.
They not a chance, but I don't know, just on principle, I think that's a disappointment.
I bet we don't send anything less than our 5-star recruits to an under 20 football game again.
Now, what a slap in the face that was.
Like, who the fuck they send?
I don't know. I was just like, wait, is that right?
Come on.
Right.
Who did they send? That is not even right, man. We live in a crazy world where some shit like that happens.
Yeah.
You know, ever since the eclipse, weird shit, man.
I know.
You know,
how are you feeling about the Eagles this year?
We're just gonna jump right in and start there.
We can. I mean, unless you had another topic.
Nah, man. I mean, I feel pretty good.
You should.
I really like what they did on the defensive side of the ball. I think there's a couple key factors. I think that Nakobe Dean can't get hurt and needs a breakout year, right? Like, I think the kid's got the talent, right? Like, he was the captain for that Georgia Bulldog team, right? But he also benefited from playing behind Carter and Davis, right? So I think that he needs to have a bust out year, and I think the pickup of Devon White helps that. I think Devon White is the sleeper pickup on the Eagles' defensive side of the ball of the offseason.
You mean because he wouldn't be a sleeper anywhere else. You're talking about because you have so much talent already on defense.
Well, the missing factor was linebacker. And this dude, like he's a stud coming out of Tampa Bay. Like I don't know why they let him go. I just don't know why they let it. Well, it's a business, it's money. But he's got experience, he's got championship pedigree, he's got a Super Bowl ring on a top-notch defense, and like he can help Nakobe Dean, right? And then they drafted a couple other dudes. They drafted two studs at cornerback, and what I'm reading is that Ringo at cornerback is actually showing out and looking like he might want playing time. I think
You guys
Bradbury,
drafted Mitchell and DeJean.
yeah,
DeJean.
DeJean,
DeJean is it?
yeah,
And then you picked up another linebacker in the third round.
yep.
I don't know. Initially, um, when you guys sent Hassan Reddick to the Jets, like I already knew. You guys have been very good at having not just depth, but quality depth, right? So I knew it wouldn't be a big deal to let him go. And what did you get for him in that trade?
We got Bryce Huff, who's
Bryce Huff. Okay.
who by snap, the number of snaps he takes, he's a pass rusher, right?
Right.
And let's factor in now with hindsight. What's Hassan Reddick doing? Holding out for the bag, dude. Like he's gonna be a problem for the Jets. I see him showing up, but like he is holding out.
I don't think he's going to be as successful in New York because there aren't as many complementary pieces around him as there were in Philadelphia. So while he benefited from so much talent in Philly, that's not going to be the same case in New York. And that's not to say that New York's not a decent team. They've got some talent over there too, but it's not the same.
It's not
It's
this.
not the same. So he's not going to be producing at the same level he was in Philadelphia. And you guys already had the depth, so you're not going to miss him.
No.
And like what was his name? Dean, you picked him up. He was injured when you guys drafted him, or his stock value, his draft capital declined because of an injury. So you got him on a cheap.
Yep.
In fact, you didn't think you were going to get him, and you got him. And
Got him.
he was able to study and learn from all the veterans on that team, and now he's ready to go, right?
Supposedly, right? Like
Yeah.
we'll see, what happens. He's in the slot to start. And I think Jeremiah Trotter Jr.'s got something to prove too, right? Like he's got big shoes to fill, and we got him in like this 5th or 6th round.
Fifth
So
round.
that's another pickup, right? I mean, it's going to be interesting, right? And I think they moved Nolan Smith Jr. to an edge rusher, and it's going to be I mean, the depth is still there, man. They got Josh Sweat on the second rotation, second team. Josh Sweat's on the second team right now.
You got good problems.
Yeah.
Good problems.
And I think CJ Gardner Johnson coming back is huge. I think it's huge. I mean, I'm barring injury, obviously, of course, right? I think that I think they're the team to beat right now, man.
Well, they are. I mean, and then you got Saquon Barkley, who will not have to be the workhorse.
No.
You have a running game. You didn't even need a running back of his caliber, but to have that and already have a solid running game because you got a solid line. Oh my God.
Let's just look what Swift did, right?
I know.
Swift was definitely a step up, but he was still part of a two-back system, right? Saquon does not need to be part of the two-back system,
He does not.
right? He just doesn't. And you can open up your playbook to a whole nother load of things. Like it doesn't matter. Saquon can even throw the ball, right? Like, so we've seen him do that. And when you got AJ Brown and Devontae Smith and Dallas Goedert running out there, who they got? Paris Campbell. It should be fun, right?
Mhm.
So then the question is, what happened to Jalen last year? Right? That's like I try not to read or listen to what people say. Like, I don't think that somebody improves every year that they're in the league as a quarterback and then has an off year, like that's their ceiling. Like that's who they are, right? Like I don't believe that. Like he improved every single year, and he had an off year last year, right? Like I think he was
Yeah,
in.
but where do you attribute that? Do you believe his off year wasn't a contributory factor of his off year did not come from the new system that he was in, even though it was a transition system
Yeah,
from what it was. It was a different play caller now.
yeah.
You don't think it was that had something to do with it?
I think it absolutely had something to do with it. And I think that had to do something with the locker room. I'm also going to say that I think he was injured, right? More than he led on to believe, right?
Hurts.
Hurts,
Okay.
right? I think his knee was hurt, right? Like he's not going to let you know it, but I think it was hurt. And then I'm going to say something no one else talks about, right? Jason Kelsey was a distraction last season.
Really? You think so?
Oh yeah,
Because of what?
podcast, Taylor Swift, uh, the documentary on Amazon, right? Like all of that happened
Well,
last year. All of
what?
it.
But why do you think that that affected their on-field performance?
We're talking about alpha males in a locker room. you know, like it's a distraction, right? Like, oh, you king shit, you know? And yes, it's Jason Kelsey. And yes, he fucking still performed on the field, right? But I
Right.
think it was a distraction.
I never considered that.
Like, there's coaches that will never do hard knocks. Why? Because it's a distraction. If I was a head coach, I wouldn't do hard knocks. Just wouldn't. It's too much. It's like
Who
being
was that
mic'd
team
up.
that benefited though? They did well. Was it the Cardinals that year? They
Jets
did
did
hard
well
knocks.
with it.
They did well.
Detroit did well with it. Giants,
Detroit did
how
well.
the Giants do?
Giants never did it.
They no.
Ever. This season is the first time they're doing anything with hard knocks.
All
And
right.
it was like preseason hard knocks. It ain't even hard knocks.
Yeah, we'll see.
The reasons that you pointed out that you would not want it to be done is what Mara said. That's why they haven't done it.
Yeah,
He was also against Thanksgiving Day football games for many years. But in the past couple of years, I think this year we're on Thanksgiving too. He's agreed to do it for reasons unbeknownst to me.
I don't like this game in Brazil. I'll tell you that straight up.
I don't like the game in Germany either. I think that we should have kept it to London and that was it. Maybe Mexico. And that's it. Like all of this international going here, there, and everywhere. Like, fuck all that, man. Like they're gonna watch it anyway.
Well, now Japan beat our young bucks, right? So maybe we're gonna go to Japan now. Who knows?
We may have to. I don't know. Who
Wow.
knows if that wasn't baked into that win?
Yeah. I would say the Cowboys roster looked super scary last year, right? And it's unchanged. But they have a lot of distractions right now, right? They have a lot of distractions. CeeDee Lamb is a distraction because he wants his bag. Dak Prescott needs a bag. Micah Parsons, vocally not happy with the way that like in his mind, they should have 3 Super Bowl trophies right now for every year he's been in the league. So they got a lot of unhappy players. I don't
You
know if
think they're going to be able to keep Dak? Or
they,
you think they're at a place where they realize he has had tremendous value to the organization, but what they've also seen is he is a great regular season quarterback, but when it comes time to bring it home, he struggles. And this isn't something that they're thinking. This isn't something that they're hypothesizing. This is something that they have seen repeatedly since he's been their starting quarterback. They might say, this is the year, but they've said that for how many years?
it's always the year, right?
You can't blame the coach anymore. You can't. You can find an argument to say it was the coach's fault, but how many coaches has he had this level of success under? This is his third coach
Well,
that he's made it to the playoffs with.
and here's the thing, right? Like, what's been the constant common denominator with Dallas?
Jerry Jones.
Jerry Jones. Aside from rolling the dice and trading away Herschel Walker and building a dynasty, what really have the Cowboys done?
They draft pretty well.
You
I'll
know,
give them that.
under Jerry Jones's ownership, what have they done? They've drafted well, linemen. I'll give them that, right?
And linebackers.
Yeah, yeah.
They've done pretty well. Receivers, I mean, they can identify talent. I think the issue for them, maybe it's the pressure of being a Dallas Cowboy quarterback, Dallas Cowboy running. I don't know what it is, but there is a stigma attached to that franchise that won't let them clear that last turn to come around home stretch. It never fails.
Didn't they lose
I
their
don't know.
lineman
I
though?
don't know that they're going to keep him. If I were a gambling man, and I am not, but if I were, I would say they're going to look to draft a quarterback next year to get themselves. But they're going to do that anyway, right? So they got to think about that. Because how old is Dak Prescott going to be now? He's got to be 32, right? Something like that.
Got to be 32.
Let's see.
30. Damn.
Oh, he's still got time. He's 30. All right, so he'll be 31 soon.
In July.
Okay.
Yep.
So he'll be 31. So anybody who signs him, even if it's Dallas, they're not going to give him more than a 4-year deal. Even if Dallas, and they're going to have a clause to get out of that in 2 to 3 years. But even Dallas, just like any other fan base, as much as I think the Dallas Cowboys fans love Dak Prescott, they're also equally frustrated. The same way we talk about him as he's never going to give you a ring, they're frustrated with hearing that and seeing it happen the way we've said it repeatedly.
Yeah.
Wash, rinse, repeat. So, what do you say? Is he going to be a Dallas Cowboy when his contract expires next year?
I think they have to.
Yeah.
Like, it's either that or you let both him and CeeDee Lamb go. And put your chips in on the defensive side of the ball. Right? Where they have a lot of young talent, right? They got a lot of young talent on the defensive side of the ball. So do they want to rebuild? Because that's what they're doing if they let go of Dak. You know what I mean? They're just letting him go. If they let him go, they're starting over. Does CeeDee Lamb want to do that? Hell no. Right? I wouldn't. If I'm one of the top 5 receivers in the league, I don't want to start in my prime with a brand new quarterback. I just don't. You know? If so I think they have to. Because who's their
so what's
starting
that
running
going
back
to
right
look
now?
like?
Who's their starting running back? Ezekiel Elliott is their starting running back right now. Now I like Zeke as a runner. The way he runs the ball, I respect that, right? Like he is straightforward. He's not like he doesn't have the quickness anymore, but like he likes to go north and south and get an extra 2 or 3 yards by trying to run through your chest. And I like that kind of football. Hate that he plays for the Cowboys, but I still like that kind of football. But he can't do that all the time anymore. Right? Like he's worn out. They rode him down. And who's their backup? Rico.
And he's only 28.
That's pretty old for a running back.
I would say 30, but 28.
The way he runs, that is old for a running
The way he runs, yes. But
Earl Campbell-esque. Not Earl Campbell, but Earl Campbell-esque. Right? What do you have, 6 or 7 years in the league?
well, let me ask you this. Tony Pollard's 27.
But he's gone.
He's got what I'm saying is he's only a year younger. And I would say Tony Pollard's got another 3 years in him easy.
Yeah, but did he look that good being the featured back?
Well, he got hurt.
I don't think
he got hurt.
Because you're not coming in on third down anymore, man. Like you're carrying the load. Ezekiel was just built different.
Yeah, he was a monster. Like Bam Bam. What was his name?
Bam Bam.
I forget his name. That guy was good. He had the dreads. I can't remember his name.
What team?
He played for Dallas. He did. I think he's played a stint with you guys too, didn't he?
With dreads?
What was his name? Bam Bam. Let me see.
Bam Bam. But
That's what they
again,
call him.
defense is set. But like if I'm Micah Parsons, do I want to reset on offense and stay in Dallas? Hell no. Hell no. So they either need to sign Dak.
Marco Murray is who I was thinking.
Yeah, he did.
Marco Murray.
Yeah, we thought we had the signing of a lifetime with that dude, and he did. Well,
he didn't have anything left.
He played for Chip Kelly too. Let's be fair.
Yeah. I don't know. I think that it can go either way with Dallas next year because they pretty much retained their roster. However, and I think Van Der Esch is now a coach for their linebackers, isn't he?
Yeah, I think so.
And he wasn't a bad linebacker. He just could never stay on the field. So I thought he was pretty good, but
many injuries. They need to get rid of him.
Dallas can go either way. They can either be pretty good or a hot fucking mess.
Right.
I think they always have a chance with how their lines are structured and built, right?
Yeah.
So they'll be able to defend the run, and they'll be able to create holes and running lanes for old ass Ezekiel Elliott. And then you got CeeDee Lamb, you got Dak Prescott, and a couple of weapons on offense. They're going to put some highlights up, right? But my concern with them is the same concern that I think you guys had going into last year. You got new coordinators coming in now, right?
I'm pretty good with Kellen Moore, though. I am.
Well, I'm not talking about for you guys. I like Kellen Moore. I thought Kellen Moore was a great pickup for you guys. I'm talking about for Dallas.
Yeah.
What's happening there?
Well, they lost their
McCarthy's going to probably call offense.
They lost their D coordinator.
Yes, they did.
Yeah.
What are they going to? That defense, as good as it was last year and the year before, I don't know that they're going to be. It's going to be a new system.
Yeah.
What's that going to look like?
It's a good question.
I don't know.
Good question. Yeah.
Who is their coordinator now? Let me see.
How do you feel about Drew Lock being your starting quarterback?
We'll see. I don't know. I thought we were going to pick up a quarterback this year, but the Patriots were like, Drake May's coming here, okay? You're not getting him. So you paid this guy. You give him a year. I mean, he was injured half the year last year. You see what he can do for you, and you make adjustments moving forward. So Daniel Jones is not the quarterback of the future. I don't think Drew Lock is either. And from the reports coming out of training camp, Drew Lock has been all over the place. And I liked Drew Lock coming out of college.
Yeah.
I thought he was going to be okay. And not for nothing, he may still end up being okay. He probably will with Daniel Jones' injury history be starting some games this year. So we'll see. But I mean, these are bridge years for us. This team isn't built yet. I
No.
don't know. I don't know where or when it's going to be a team that you can really hang your hat on and like feel confident that you're going to make a run.
Well, let me ask you this. When like they got some like Gucci draft picks, right? Like I like Jalen Hyatt. I think he's a weapon, right? I like Malik Neighbors. He is absolutely a weapon. I think Darius Slayton still has some tread on the tires. I think Wandell Robinson's a good receiver, right? Uh, I don't know if Devin Singletary's the answer at running back, but when are they going to address the fucking offensive line?
They did.
Did they?
Yeah, they did.
With who?
So I don't think, I think the problem in New York, for the most part, for the last decade, has been their offensive and defensive lines. Okay. So they got John Runyon Jr.
Yeah.
I'm sure you're familiar with that name.
Oh yeah.
His dad and Michael Strahan were going back to back. I mean, fighting every freaking week.
Oh
That
yeah.
was a battle that was for the ages. They picked up Yor or whatever his name is from the Raiders. He's a starting right tackle.
Yeah.
And they still have Evan Neal, who was hurt all year, who was, in my opinion, a bust. But I don't know. They seem to think that this guy really has it and can put it together. And then they picked up two additional pieces. What were the other guys? I can't even think of them right now. They brought in four new players for the offensive line this year. Last year, first round pick was John Michael Schmitz. Okay. Which he played well as their center. He got hurt too. We got probably the best left tackle in the league in Andrew Thomas. He's really good. So the moves that they made on the offensive line, I still think they're two centerpieces away from being, or complements to their centerpiece away, which is Andrew Thomas, from having a solid offensive line. And last year they had no depth. So when they got hurt, when Andrew Thomas got hurt, they had guards playing tackle who had no idea how to play tackle.
Yeah.
It was horrible. So now they have some two-way players who can play tackle and guard. But it's still, I have no faith in them until they show me. I have no faith. Honestly, like you alluded to, they picked up some really nice offensive weapons. And I don't give a shit who you put behind the offensive lines that we've had over the past 10 years, you're going to be struggling to find success. I don't care what quarterback's back there, struggling. I think the Giants have perfected destroying quarterbacks, destroying their confidence, destroying their internal clock, destroying their ability to have faith that a play is going to work because they're running for their lives. Even the year that the Giants made it to the playoffs with Daniel Jones having to run for his life, he did it because he was running for his life and they were getting at him. And the pass rush came too far up the field, creating lanes for him to escape. Now, they had some design runs and stuff, but it was just a mess. So you're right. The line is the problem. The line has been the problem. Do I think that they've done nothing? No, I don't think that at all. I think they've made some moves. However, will these moves turn into something that benefits them, or is it going to be the same old same? I don't know. We'll see. I think defensively, they got better, at least on the line. Linebacker is still a little bit, maybe not, but secondary is where my questions are. I mean, we let, why can't I think of his name right now? McKinney, he went to the Packers.
Yep.
and he was solid in the secondary. We don't have a solid number two. I mean, Tay Banks is our number one CB or CB1. I don't know who our CB2 is going to be. We've got some options, but nobody who's proven back there.
Yeah.
Safety
Right now it's
position.
Cordell Flott, and I have no idea who that dude is.
Oh, Cordell Flott's not bad. He was on LSU.
Okay.
And so he went up against some decent talent, right? He went up against some decent talent. So that would stand to reason. You going up against these guys in practice all day, you're probably going to be at least okay. But his problem is he don't have no weight on him. He's like a Devontae Smith, light in the ass. You know what I mean? Now, Devontae Smith will catch the ball. He don't give a shit. But he light in the ass.
Yeah, dude.
So I don't know that Cordell Flott's
I
going to be
thought
the answer
he was
either.
going to get broken.
What's
Like
that?
I thought he was going to get broken in the NFL, right? That dude.
Devontae Smith?
Yeah.
He's just so quick. He's like a gazelle, man.
Like,
and he knows how to be tackled.
Yeah. He knows how to be tackled.
He knows how to be tackled. He protects himself when he gets hit. So he's pretty good.
He's a good dude too, right? Like, and I say that just based off of what I watch of him, right? But like, he bought a $650,000.
Saw it.
Humble
dude.
Smart.
Yeah. And he's like you said, he's a good dude. You watch his interviews, you're like, how can you not like the guy?
I like him, Mike. I think he should be mic'd up every Sunday. Just because he's fucking funny as fuck.
Yeah.
Right? When they were playing in I want to say it was in Chicago, man. He was on the sideline mic'd up. He was not enjoying playing in that cold weather in December in Chicago.
Uh-huh.
Give me another beanie, man. Give me another beanie.
I don't think I saw that. You know who I felt like more so than Jalen Hurts let you guys down last year? And he was vocal about his play, AJ Brown. He did not play like AJ Brown.
Had I not looked, like, I know what his stats were last season.
Yeah.
Right? So if I don't know what his stats are, I agree with you, right? Dude caught almost 1,500 yards receiving.
Yeah, but here's the thing.
Crazy.
The catches that he needed to make, at the times he needed to make them, that's what it was. He put up gaudy numbers. He put up Dak Prescott numbers as a receiver.
I think he got to a point where his personality was just over it, right? Like with the whole Brian Johnson offensive coordinator.
Right.
Now we're going to let, Matt Patricia do the fucking play calling. Pretty sure he's gone now.
Yeah, he is. Yes.
Oh God, dude. Like, I don't even know.
He was humbled last year near the end of the season. Listen, he was having a pretty good season. He was putting up the numbers, right? Just like you said.
He had a 6-game
But in those moments when you needed him to pull it in, he wasn't doing it. It was
that 6-game stretch he had was ridiculous.
Didn't he break a record at one point, right?
Yeah, he broke all kinds of records for receptions and yards. Like, he was unstoppable.
Yeah.
And he still is.
Yeah.
Like, they just, whoever was calling the plays was really comfortable with the 10-yard slant across the middle. 10-yard slant across the middle. Like, that's a bread and butter play, and it's nice to have. You always need an outlet as a quarterback, right? But you can't have the same outlet every fucking play, right? You just can't.
Yeah.
Yeah, and that's what it turned into. And he was.
I mean, statistically, he caught 106 balls last year.
That's insane.
Those are gaudy numbers.
He could have had 120.
Last year, or 2 years ago, he caught 88.
Yeah.
He had 7 TDs last year on 106 and 11 on 88 the year before.
Yeah. I mean, I would get sick and tired of running across the middle all the fucking time.
But he's young, man. He's young. He's stacked. He's 27 years old. Huh?
He's been working out. Like, dude, he remember when DK Metcalf first came out with that shirt off fucking picture? And you're like, my fucking God. who is this dude? Right?
I thought that was going to be a liability for him, and it wasn't.
AJ Brown is the same fucking way right now. He's off the chain, dude, as far as what he looks like. Let me see if they. I mean, he's ripped, bro. Ripped. Like these skinny cornerbacks are not going to be able to stop him.
No, the Cordell Flocks.
Yeah.
They can't. That's if we can real quick before we wrap up here, we were talking about Dak Prescott and how can they keep him? When you look at the market value of quarterback contracts right now, these guys are making $54-55 million a year now.
Yeah.
That's what the market's commanding.
Yeah.
And even with the increase in a cap for next year, and I don't know what that number is going to be. I don't even know if that's been released yet. I don't know that it is going to be equitable to keep him at those numbers.
No, right?
Because you want to sign your other assets.
What are they going to do?
I don't know. Hey,
you know what I mean?
Problem.
I ain't mad that they have this problem, right?
Yeah.
They either got to sign a mid quarterback, right? Which might be their answer, dude, right? Like you've had two regimes in a row. Tony Romo, fantasy wise, awesome quarterback to have. He's going to throw for some yards. He's going to throw for some touchdowns. You know, he's going to run for a couple. He's a nice quarterback to have in fantasy, right? But that's just it. It's fantasy, right? Dak Prescott, and I know you're not a fantasy guy, right? But that's regular season. It's points on the board, right? As far as a fantasy starting quarterback would go. Dak Prescott is the same way. Maybe they go out and get fucking like a Ryan Tannehill, you know, something along that nature, that line. Maybe they do that. I hope. I don't care. I hope they sign Dak, to be honest. I think they have to, and I hope they do because he's getting $60 million a year. End of story.
60.
Yeah, dude.
Yeah. 60.
Yep.
So what do you think we're going to see from Jayden Daniels over with the Commanders?
I mean, I personally like Drake May out of the whole class.
Mm-hmm.
He's got he's raw. He's more raw than the others, right? But I don't know. I think we're in love with this kind of style quarterback because we've seen the Pat Mahomes and we've seen. I say Josh Allen, but he's a different quarterback than Mahomes, right? But like we've seen these mobile quarterbacks that can run the ball. You know, C.J. Stroud in Houston. You know, he's a really good passer. I don't know how well
and he's smart too.
Passer this kid is in Jayden Daniels. Like I know what he did, right? At LSU with
yes, honey.
Elite wide receivers. Elite wide receivers. You know, when I'm getting open every time I run down the field, I can fucking look good. You know what I mean? You know,
you do look good, brother. You do look good.
I don't know, man. I don't know what he's going to turn into be, right? Like I got question marks, right? And it's Washington. We'll see. You know, maybe he has a rookie year like RG3 did. RG3, his rookie season was the next coming until they.
Well, let me ask you this:
put him out there with a bum knee.
So I think we'd be remiss not to talk about the fact that Dan Quinn interdivisional shift, formerly the Dallas Cowboys DC, now the HC in Washington. Do you think they take one against Dallas this year? He knows their tendencies. He knows their plays.
Yeah. I always go into the season 3-3. Every team in the division. Always. Well, aside from the Giants for like the last 5 years, right? And I don't count end of season game. Like, and that sucks for us as rivals and as football fans and as trash talkers, right? Like we're always the last game of the season. And it just seems
Yeah.
like that game doesn't matter to one of the
Yeah.
teams, right? Just doesn't matter.
Mhm.
And that's not good. That's the one thing I don't like about the
Well,
schedule.
they started that about 4 or 5 years ago, and what it does is it sells tickets
Yeah.
because, but even if you're out of contention, you want to beat your rival. So it gives the game more value than it necessarily needs to have. But what's interesting is Washington has consistently they don't give the Giants fits for some reason, but they give Philly fits
Oh yeah.
and Dallas fits. And I've never really quite understood that.
They've owned Philly. Kirk Cousins was Philly's daddy
Mm,
when he played for Washington. I mean, Lane Johnson's got no bones to tell you that himself until he said, fuck this. We're not letting this scrub ass team beat us anymore. And they
mm.
finally got off the Stein, right? But like they owned Philly, man. They could be 2-15 and they beat Philly once. And not
With a backup quarterback. With Colt McCoy starting. Like, what the fuck, bro?
Yeah. You better not be taking a picture of it.
I'm not. I'm on the phone with mom. I'm like, what are you doing?
All right. Talking to Atticus.
Can I go make a sweet treat?
Yeah.
I'm gonna do this more things.
On what?
The stove.
Okay.
So are you attending any games this year?
I'm going to Baltimore versus Philly in Baltimore.
Baltimore versus Philly in Baltimore. That'll be a fun time.
I've been there for Baltimore playing the Ravens, I think week 2.
Yeah, that'll be a good game too.
I don't know
What
what
week
it's gonna
is
be.
that?
That's like December 8th.
Ooh,
I don't know what it's gonna be like with my eel gear on.
you'll be fine. You'll be fine.
Obviously I don't get belligerent,
Right.
So I'll be fine.
And depending on where your seats are too.
Oh,
Being
they're
in
up top.
nosebleeds.
They're up top.
Oh God. Might be a rough one, buddy.
It might get rough. But when I was there for the Miami game, there was some Miami fans sitting right next to us. And they Baltimore was blowing them out. And then Tua decided to fucking throw 5 touchdowns in the second half. And it was amazing, right? Like that, it was legit amazing. Tyreek Hill was amazing. That dude is so fucking fast, dude. When you see the whole field and you see him running, like TV does him no justice. That dude is fucking lightning. And Miami came back and they actually won the game. And the Miami fans were getting fucking a little bit rowdy. They were fine where we were, but when we were walking out, there was a little scrub.
Right.
Little scrum.
Yeah.
Every stadium, dude. It doesn't matter. Too much beer.
Mm-hmm.
Just
so the Giants are going to be hosted by the Steelers this year.
Yeah.
I think that's a December game also. We're going to go out for that one.
Nice.
You got to. You know what I mean?
Got to.
And the Steelers fans have always been welcoming to Giants fans. So it should be a good time.
All right.
Yeah, so. But all right, man, I think that's a show.
That is a show.
It's good to be back on and talking football. I mean, we talk WNBA, we talk NBA.
We even talked a little
about a lot of stuff.
Talk baseball.
We talked baseball.
We'll talk cricket next time.
We talked football in China.
Yeah, for sure. Yeah, I mean, as far as a day to do this, right now, Mondays are fine for me. Come football season, unless we do it like an hour before the game, Mondays probably don't work. But, I mean, that's something We could just say Mondays if that works for you.
So Mondays would look like a recap then. It would look like a recap of what's already happened
Yeah.
and a preview of they're going to do 2 Monday nighters, I think.
Yeah.
1 Sunday nighter, well, if we're talking Monday, 2 Monday nighters and the Thursday night game.
Yeah.
We can do that. I mean, we'll have injury updates and all of that stuff at that point too.
Yeah.
For the most part. I'm down.
All right, my man.
All right, brother. It's good to
Hey,
do this again.
Good to see you, man.
You too, brother.
All right.
Hey, never forget. Fuck your team. Peace, brother.
Later.